Earlier today, Rome Hyundai announced they received two prestigious Hyundai awards. They received the Hyundai Board of Excellence Award and were named Hyundai Dealer of the Year for 2025. And those are two of the highest honors that Hyundai Motor America can give its dealerships. The awards recognize a select group of Hyundai dealerships nationwide that excel in customer satisfaction, sales, and overall dealership operations. Both of these were formally presented in a ceremony you're watching there at the Gary Rome dealership in Holyoke this morning, which Gary Rome himself attended.
These honors belong to everyone here. It's your dedication, your positive spirit, and the way you care for our customers and for each other that make Gary Rome Hyundai so special. And at the end of the day, it's not the awards or accolades that matter most. It's the relationships we build and the way we take care of our people.